So here we are, Mr. VM. How are we?
How we doing today,
Yeah,
brother?
man. Oh,
this guy shook my hand how many times? I've known this guy for how many years? Like 10, 11 years?
Yeah, 10.
And you shake my hand like it's a fucking piece of fish out of water. So anyways,
so
what are you here to?
So we were here in our last segment, you know,
Okay.
which lasted probably about 24 minutes.
You don't mind if I smoke a cigarette?
Yeah. I'll go ahead.
Just enjoy myself as I talk
go
about
ahead.
this serious. I know you
So there is a lot that we spoke about.
Yes.
And it sort of branched out into a
Okay.
certain question that, you know, there was a lot of the viewers on the YouTube channel, you know, they had this primary question. VM, that
Really?
what are your views on the current political landscape? Like, I don't know, there were just so many questions about like what your views are. Are you Republican? Are you liberal? I don't know. Just tell the viewers what they want to know.
All right, listen, man. The last time we spoke, you know, I sat here and I was thinking about this subject, about the weed, this and that. I talked about it, you know, with the people I work with or whatnot. But I noticed this situation, and basically now they got this, you know, George Floyd case going on, right? And you know, it's fucked up because in society, when somebody sues somebody, right, it's all about first the drug test, right? Oh yeah, the drug test is the proof. When you don't know if it's 90, God knows what, 50% accurate, shit could go on, whatever the case may be. So you know what? The guy had fucking fentanyl in his system. So now they look at him like, okay, it's over. He's the bad guy, right? He's the guy on the street. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you got a guy with a badge and a guy on the street, we're all the same. We're citizens. So there's no reason for him. Even if he had that shit in his system, he was cooperative with the police, cooperative with everybody.
A lot of viewers ask that, how do you feel about the, you know, recent findings that they found out about how George Floyd was a drug abuser and how it sort of changes the way how people are kind of looking at his case. There's like a lot of stuff that came out. A lot of viewers ask, how do you feel about it?
First of all, why do they want my opinion?
Well,
I'm just fucking with you.
All right.
You know, society is society.
Yeah.
And they always want to see everybody's point of view and perspective in life. You know what I mean? And you know, I want to start off with this whole, you know, George Floyd case and how, okay, you know, they use a system of urines right off the bat to get the credential evidence that shows they'll try anything they can or they want to make this citizen of the United States that pays taxes, right, that was a bouncer, Minneapolis, and sit there and just because he had a problem, he was black, the other guy was white. Obviously, the cop was white, citizen was black. They knew each other, so they had a grudge against each other. In a situation like that, that's like, I forget what this term is. They use a term where it's like, if I know who you are and I work with you are, right? Immediately, that cop cannot even interfere with that citizen because they knew each other and they worked with each other in a bar. It's on the articles. Read it up. It's the God honest truth. So that, he's wrong. Okay, now he wants to pop with the drug test. His lawyers try to be all smart. And they want to fucking, you know, grab a lot of money, 25,000. Anyways, that's another whole story. Conspiracy against lawyers. Fuck them. You don't need that because in life, it's like when you walk up in a courthouse, if you don't have somebody that backs you up, defends you, has credentials and shows and proof that he is like, you know, the righteous man, like King Kong in the fucking courtroom, and you're just some citizen right here, defendant, right, and whatnot, and you get hammered because you don't have a lawyer, you don't have people to back you up. And you're just you and your voice, you know. But anyways, you know, I'm sorry that it happened. You know, God bless the family or whatnot. But that's they could take action with a wrongful lawsuit against the community. You know, I think it's what is it? Wrongful death suit or something like that. If somebody dies and they don't really know the exact reason, and there's like suspicious activities going on, then that happens. But you know, in my opinion, to keep it on the you know level here and short and simple is they're utilizing the drug test, which is fine. That's a legal move that lawyers do. In any suement, anything that you're getting sued, the first thing is a drug test. And what bothers me is they don't know the specific time where the drug was taken because if there's fentanyl or any kind of opiate in your system, you could be just trying to get it just to feel normal and not high again. So if the guy was cooperative, George Floyd was cooperative, there was a testimony against a paramedic that was in the courtroom, right? And they showed Exhibit A when he was getting choked on the ground, blood shit. And he had marks on his body, on his left shoulder. He had a bruise, because of being, slammed down and in the nose. So it had nothing to do with the fentanyl because he was cooperative. If it had something to do with the fentanyl, his body couldn't tolerate it, and he would show movements into society that he is fucked up or he's on something. But maybe he was just in an addiction, just taking it one time each day at a time just to get by, to feel normal, not sick. Like, it reverses, and people don't understand that. They're like, oh yeah, there's opiates in his system, he's high. He's a needle user. No, not necessarily. You know what I mean?
So, VM, what is your outlook on drug tests?
Oh, wow. I'm surprised you didn't... I always ask permission before I even do this, if I can smoke a cigarette, because that's what I do every time I talk, and I have something that I always have to say that I have to let it out of my body. So, give me one moment. Let me smoke this cigarette. 2 seconds. Just light it, and I will tell you. And we're going to get into it right now, all right? I'm going to keep it as factual as I can be, and I'm not biased. I see every point of view, all right? In society, the society social norm, right, of society. I always say society because this is society, right? People tend to take credentials of what you did and accomplished in your life and base it on how you are as a person as you get older, and you get judged more as you get older. So with my experience with drug tests, like, if I say something like, oh, that's a false positive, check it again, right? You never know. There could be somebody could put the wrong name on it. It's happened. Somebody went for a surgery. Like, the people in drug court, when they go for surgery, they have to literally write down, I cannot take fentanyl or anesthesia. But if you get 4 wisdom teeth pulled out, thank God I'm not on drug court, but if motherfucker had to get 4 wisdom teeth pulled out, they would not give him no Percocets because he signed the deal. Like, you can't take no Robitussin. You can't take no K2. You can't take nothing. Like, arsenic comes out. And they even test in IOP. They test for when you tell them what medication you take, how many milligrams in your system. If you're overtaking your medication, that's a failed drug test. You take some Robitussin, right, because you're coughing like a motherfucker, that's a failed drug test. It's serious, dude. And it's not something that should be looked upon on. It should be something that's frowned upon in society, using it as a weapon to mass disguise and basically overcome their enemy, so to speak, in court-wise. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And, it's fucked up. It shouldn't... in my experience, I always pass drug tests, but, like, you just have to do things on life terms. Like, if you have to do that and pass it, just pass it. Just stay clean. It's easier said than done. The first thing is abstinence from that. That's it. Stay clean from it. But sometimes there's kind of like speculations where somebody could have taken something 4 days ago, and maybe if it's a Xanax pop, oh, he's high. No, he's not high. The thing is metabolizing in his body. He's high for only there's no drug, unless you're taking LSD, that will last for fucking 2 to 3 days. There's a possibility that ingredient metabolate that comes out of your body, it can last for a week. You could smoke weed like 2 weeks ago and then go for it. That's another thing with the jobs. They just passed a law where you can't sit there and use a drug test. And if you're going for like a executive position and they find THC, now they just put a law that it cuts it out. But there's going to be a lot of discrimination because of these new laws. People are not used to it. This is evolution of this generation. And I think that's what the biggest problem is nowadays.
Very interesting.
Yes, that is my biggest viewpoint. And that's how I feel. Now, I'm not saying go out there and believe what I believe, but you could see a similar perspective to where I'm coming from in a respectful way. Like, I'm just seeing facts and trying to put them together and find the truth. Okay?
So I heard that you were actually getting drug tested 2 times a week.
You know what, man? You have no idea how many times I got drug tested. It was like the whole act of drug testing was like waking up naturally and brushing your teeth every fucking day, or waking up and taking a shower. That's how routine like it was. It wasn't 2 days a week, bro. It was every other fucking day, sometimes 3 times a day. If people thought something was suspicious, I came from a short-term rehab that they call a behavior modification program that's called Integrity House at the time in 2014 to 15, okay? And from there, that's in Secaucus, by the way, I went from the short-term 28 program day to the long-term. I was in there 9 fucking months writing letters to a girl. Got in trouble. Kept writing letters. I was working in the kitchen. She would slide the letter into the tray. I'd get the tray, and then wash it, get the letter back, and then go back on the seat, bam, put the other letter. That's my experience in these programs. And with the drug test, like, I was clean. Like, as long as, like, there's shit, don't get me wrong. When you're in jail or you're in a setting where there's 4 walls around you, you can't move, there's no way out, and you have to be together with these people that you don't really like, but you have to respect everybody in one nature. Like, you could not like somebody, but you have to respect them. If you disrespect them and don't like them, then that's a problem. Then you're gonna get in a fight. You just have to, go in your own lane, do what you got to do, and just be clean. Like, don't get caught up in the bullshit. Like, in society, like, it's out there, but it's a matter of how we are gonna find it. It's who we know, not what we know. That kind of situation, and that's a big thing, because even in 4 walls, it's easier to attach this to a plug, and you go through one guy, through another guy, and then bam, you get whatever you want. It's right there. It's like being a celebrity in a darkest moment of your life when you hit rock bottom. And that's something that sucks, but you could utilize other things to cope with it. Coping mechanism. Yes, people do drugs in there. They have to get drug tested. They know COs that can fucking swap drug tests, throw them out, and be like, hey, he's clean. There's a lot of bullshit that goes on. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
So, what is your experience with selling drugs in prison and the correctional officers that promote it?
Oh my God, when you say correctional officers that promote it, everybody's involved. Those correctional officers that have been there for 15 years, they have connections on the outside, because people that keep coming in and out, they're institutionalized. That all they know is living in jail. So their family, so to speak, is the COs, and they get tight with them. They see them every day, and eventually they connect. They make money transactions. All that dirty shit that goes on in jail, it's true. It's all about business. It's fucked up. But if you think about it, if you only have 4 walls to look at each day, and you have nothing to keep yourself productive, you will eventually take the things that you have in your cell and be able to work around it and make ways to make money. There's people that make more money in fucking prison than they do outside of the prison. There's a lot of
Makes
security.
you want to go to prison, man.
No, I don't, because I haven't been there. I only went to the county. I've been in solitary confinement. And speaking of solitary confinement, right, I checked the news out, and I don't know if it was Biden. Somebody changed the law. I think it was Cuomo for New York. And he said that no prisoner, female or male, should be in solitary confinement at all. They're trying to drop the law in New York. And I went through that for 8 days in New Jersey. So
must have been quite an experience.
Yeah, no, people say, when you this might be another segment of what I have to say about jail, but in all due respect to everybody, I do go on a rant, but you can learn something from what I have to say every single time. If it's one word that saves somebody's life, that's fine. If it's one word that sparks somebody's thought to do something successful, that's fine. Bam. I try my best. I'm VM. That's who I am. Take it or leave it. You want to sit there and keep watching my episodes and learn something maybe? That's a possibility, because I'm a positive mindset every day, all day, 24/7. That's it. So is there anything else that you want to know about my perspective on how I feel about things? That's on you. Tell me.
No, I think that just about wraps it up for today. It was always a pleasure to speaking to you, and maybe you could tell the viewers a little bit more about what may be going on next.
I mean, it's kind of a surprise, because I did mention the topic of racism and whatnot, but I kind of want to go into more detail because of this whole George Floyd case that's coming up, and I want to speak about that and have my point of view and perspective on the facts based on the circumstantial evidence that you're going to sit there and try to say, well, the guy was on fentanyl, whatever the case may be, all right? I'm going to tell you in the next episode, and I'm going to utilize that in everyday life on how it affects us together as the United States of America. Thank you very much. Have a good night. We shall speak again.